The Kings finish out their regular season with a resounding win against the Portland Trail Blazers, 121-82. The NBA regular season is now over for everyone. The Kings are the 9 seed, locked into the 9-10 playing game. Obviously, not fun that they dropped into that 9-10 playing game with some heartbreaking finishes down the stretch. Obviously, the loss of Malik Monk down the stretch. But it is what it is. There's still a good chance that they can get through the play-in tournament. They will be matched up against the Warriors. Pelicans Lakers is the 7-8 matchup. That one's in New Orleans. Of course, the 9-10 matchup will be in Sacramento. So another winner go home game in Kings Lakers. I mean, Warriors. But I'm not going to be previewing the play-in tournament in this episode. So this will probably be the shortest episode of the season because let's be honest, this game was just the Kings taking care of business, as they should. And so I will make a separate preview of the play-in tournament. And I'm just going to really quickly touch on some moments from this game. And then we'll be focused on the play-in tournament. And of course, after the season ends, whenever that is for the Kings, I'll, recap what I thought of the Kings season, whether it was successful, not successful, whatever we learned. But just to touch on that real quickly here, obviously 82 games down, the Kings will go 46-36. That's 2 less wins than last season. And the goal before the season was always to make the playoffs. And so we don't know if that's happened yet, but top 6 was also kind of the goal. You want to stay out of the play, and the Kings were unable to do that. But they were able to stay in that race for a very long time against a lot of teams that are in more of win now mode than the Kings, which is why this, making top 6 wasn't a necessity for a successful season. But not making the playoffs would definitely be an unsuccessful season still. You just don't need to do it through being the top 6. But obviously, really, when the Kings fell out of that top 6 race was when Malik Monk went down. It just shows how important he is to this team. He should be sixth man of the year. And if he leaves in free agency, then, well, that's going to leave a lot of questions for this team. If he stays, then I think it's very easy to see how this team will continue to grow and how they can improve and rise up the ranks of the Western Conference. If he leaves, then it's going to leave the Kings in a rough spot. But just looking at this game real quick, Portland took a 2-0 lead, and then the Kings took it from there, never looked back. Portland just jacked up a million threes. It felt like a million. They actually only ended with 45. I think they had near 20. I think they were 1 for 19 at the end of the first quarter. So they calmed down a bit. A guy who they just signed right before the game played 30 minutes for them. They were just playing a bunch of nobodies, and the Kings took care of business. The only thing that the Kings didn't do well was rebounding. When you go 1 for 19 from 3, you're probably going to get some offensive rebounds. So Portland definitely did that. They got 23. Definitely too many. Definitely something the Kings need to make sure they don't allow in a play-in game against the Warriors, because when you look at the Warriors, they're always a good offensive rebounding team because they're shooting a bunch of threes, long rebounds, guys trying to chase out to the three-point line so they're not rebounding, right? And so it's not the same against the Trailblazers, but it's something to think about because we all know what happened in the playoffs last year. But the offensive rebounding was pretty much the only thing that the Blazers had going for them. They couldn't hit a 3. Delano Banton went 6 for 26, 0 for 15 from 3, which is the most 3-point attempts without a make in a game in NBA history. He also got ejected. I don't know, he took exception to a Chris Duarte foul in the fourth quarter, and then somehow Duarte and Bant got double teased. I don't know what Duarte did, but then Banton just trucks Colby Jones for no reason, gets a flagrant 2 and gets ejected. I don't know what he was doing, but one of probably the worst games in NBA history from a single player. So shout out to him for going minus 38. It was interesting to see, Keegan Murray versus Chris Murray. Chris Murray was awful in terms of shooting the ball, scoring the ball. but he had 18 rebounds. And I'm like, why can't Keegan do that? I want to see Keegan getting 18 rebounds. That'd be so fun. But the Kings offensively, they got into the paint. We're getting whatever they wanted. Fox went 10 for 14. Sabonis went 4 for 4 from the mid-range in this game. He went 0 for 2 from 3, but 4 for 4 on just confident mid-range looks. And that is just something that, like, he looked so confident. They all just looked like beautiful shots. We just need more of that from him. Went 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Almost was one assist shy of the triple double. The Kings came out very intense defensively. I loved how they just were like, we're not letting this game get away. Like, we're just going to end it. And Fox was leading the charge there with 3 steals. And he had a quick, like, 6 points in 20 seconds, getting 2 steals. And obviously against an inexperienced Portland team, a lot of turnovers for them. Keon still getting in foul trouble even when it's against bad teams is a little worrying, especially when you look at him. He's going to match up against Steph Curry in the play-in game. We're better equipped, and again, I'll talk more about this in the preview. We're more equipped to guard Steph this season than last season, but obviously it's still going to be hard, so it'll be interesting to see how Keon does there and if he can stay out of foul trouble. But you have to live with his foul trouble a little bit because he's just so active in getting steals and getting blocks. He had 3 steals, 2 blocks in this game. Kings obviously got to rest their guys. They could have rested their guys more, but they had them running out there till the end of the third quarter. Definitely didn't need to. Definitely didn't need to go within just an 8-man rotation in the first half. But can't really be mad with the Kings being serious and making sure they got the win and got the job done and gave themselves a chance at the 8 seed and locked themselves into at least the 9 seed, which is what they did. So at least getting a home game. But Davion's still shooting well from 3. Keon's still shooting well from 3. Fox knocking him down. Barnes getting a couple. All good signs. Trey Lyles looking really good on both ends. Alex Len looking solid. Then we had, the garbage time unit come in. JaVale just doing a little bit of everything, shooting a 3 because the crowd wanted him to. Rebounding the ball. He had 9.7 rebounds in 8 minutes. So a classic JaVale game. Colby looked good finishing around the rim. Chris Duarte looked awful, dribbling the ball around, not really doing anything. Sasha trying to run the floor in transition and finish. That didn't look good. Same with Keegan earlier in the game. I'm not confident at all when Keegan has the ball in transition. Unless his only move is keep dribbling like he's gonna fake the pass and then try to dunk it. I feel like guys know by now what he's trying to do. It's not good. So he needs to get better there. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode. Just because, this game was a whole lot of nothing. I enjoyed watching it. And I'm excited for the play-in game, meaningful games, intense games. Obviously very nervous as well. But of course I will be coming out with that preview very soon. I'll record it tonight. Probably get it out later tonight. So I'll see you guys then. Peace.